Good evening. Welcome to the fourth annual State of the City Address for the City of Aiken. I would like to begin tonight's event by welcoming to the podium the Reverend Matt Steelman, pastor of New Spring Church's Aiken campus, for tonight's invocation. After the invocation by Reverend Steelman, we will have the presentation of colors by our Department of Public Safety's Honor Guard, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Donald Butler, commander of American Legion Post 212 and a retired lieutenant from Aiken's Department of Public Safety. And we will conclude this portion of the program with the national anthem to be sung by Aiken County Council Vice Chairman and District 7 Representative Andrew Siders. So if you'll please stand while Reverend Steelman comes to lead us in our invocation.
Let's pray. God, thank you for tonight. Thank you for the city of Aiken. Thank you so much that we get to come tonight and hear about a thriving place that you have blessed and that you've set aside. And so we pray, just like Psalm 1 says, that blessed is the man or the woman or the city who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. He is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither, and in all that he does, he prospers. And so, God, we pray that for our city. We pray that for the leaders in our city. We pray that we will be men and women of integrity who look to you, the author and the perfecter of our faith, and say yes to whatever it is that you wish to accomplish. And thank you, Jesus, that that's always a thriving thing and not a shrinking thing. So we love you, God. We honor you, and tonight is for you and from you. It's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we've hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Thank you to our color guard from Aiken Department of Public Safety for presenting the colors, and to retired Lieutenant Butler for leading us in the pledge, and to Vice Chairman Siders for the stirring rendition of the national anthem. Again, we welcome you here tonight to our 4th annual State of the City event. And tonight I am pleased to introduce our mayor, Rick Osbon. Mayor Osbon tirelessly works at his day job at Osbon Cleaners and his part-time job serving the city. And I am pleased to welcome him to the podium to make some presentations and to share with you and the rest of those watching electronically about our wonderful accomplishments over the past year, and for him to share his vision for the city over the next year.
Thank you. One of the greatest pleasures of this annual event is for me to have the opportunity to honor some pretty amazing people who I respect and admire for the contributions that they have made to our city of Aiken and the character traits that they exemplify in their life. The Aiken Award is a small token compared to the impact our honorees this evening have made to all of us. Our first recipient tonight has made contributions to our city that will last for generations, which is fitting because his family has been a part of the Aiken fabric for generations. He appreciates history and has a pragmatic vision towards successful preservation. His dedication to the restoration of communities is unparalleled. It is said faith can move mountains, and that may be so, but I know for certain that the vision and determination of this recipient can certainly move a house. Let's see what his friends and family had to say.
I selected the word resourcefulness as one of Bill's character traits, because just like the word means to find practical uses for things that others want to discard, he has that same philosophy about old homes and old buildings in the community. My sister and I are the only ones left in my family, and I wanted to move here to be closer to her. And when I told her about that, she was really excited, and I said, well, I'm going to have to find some place to live. She said, well, as it turns out, we just got a piece of property right on our street that we want to restore, an old house. And because of his strong background in renovating homes, he was able to renovate the house. But he's really very passionate about improving the neighborhood, preventing the tearing down of so many buildings in the community, which can help the community run down, and very much in favor of keeping and maintaining and improving the character and the quality of life in the neighborhood.
A true visionary. That's Bill McGee. With Historic Aiken Foundation as the chair of the awards committee, it was my honor and privilege to be able to recognize numerous projects that Bill has done over the years. And the one that comes to mind that really shows his vision is the old parsonage located behind United Wesley Methodist Church. And the church wanted to demolish the building. And Bill said, no, that building is historic, it should not be demolished. And he basically bought that building from the church, moved that building around Richland in front of First Baptist onto Barnwell Avenue, and did a fabulous job. And if you were to look at that today, you could say, I mean, it looks like it's been there for 100 years. And I think for someone to have a vision, to buy a property, to pay to move it, to buy a lot to put it on, to basically revitalize his community shows a tremendous vision, and many thanks, and hopefully he will continue doing this type of work for Aiken.
Dedication. That's the most important character trait I can think of when I think of Bill McGee. He's dedicated to preserving the craft of what he learned from his grandfather and other members of his family. The entrepreneurship of being able to have your own and being able to preserve that. And he's dedicated in doing that. And he's dedicated to making sure his sons are following in his footsteps and learning those trades as well. And I think more than anything, he loves Aiken, and he wants to see Aiken preserved for those who are coming behind him, especially his grandkids.
The word of character I think about when I think of Mr. McGee is commitment. He continues to work, and he physically does the labor too. I saw him, he's working with the African American Cultural Center over there, and I was over there one day, and he was over there doing hammers and nails. He was doing that by himself, and I mean, that's commitment. He doesn't just delegate the task to somebody. He's in there working on it, and he's just a good person, and that just shows a lot of commitment to me. Well, Aiken definitely benefits because he is saving a neighborhood. You know, once a few houses are gone from that neighborhood, it's just not the same. But Mr. McGee is putting that effort behind to save those houses in that neighborhood, and he really should be commended for that.
Bill, I just want to say congratulations on the Aiken Award. It certainly is well deserved, and the city made an excellent choice in you as a recipient.
Congratulations, Mr. McGee, on being a recipient of the Aiken Award. It's something you definitely deserve, and you've earned through your many years of hard work for the city.
Bill, congratulations. I can't think of a person more deserving to be recognized with the Aiken Award than you for your many contributions and vision for revitalization of the North Side.
And I know sometimes it was hard, but you persevered, you were dedicated, and that was the most important thing, that you were dedicated enough in this effort to recognize that it's important to preserve the history of the city of Aiken.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our first 2020 Aiken Award recipient, Mr. Bill McGee. I have to say, it was really nice to have this view of watching his face as that started coming on. Family, well done for keeping a secret. Our next award recipient has been an ambassador for Aiken for over 40 years. He has demonstrated what client service is supposed to be. He lives his life to add value to those around him. Family has always been a priority in the recipients of his business, and every visitor feels like they're part of his family before they leave. There are people who live around our country and world who plan trips so they can come visit his retail establishment. He falls into a unique group of people who are simply identified by one name. You know, there's Madonna, Elvis, Prince, and this Aiken Award recipient. Let's see what others had to say.
Loyalty is the word that I would like to use. I was first introduced to Lionel when he came to town. He was working at Belk's in Aiken when it was on Lawrence Street. He worked there a while, and later Manning Owens gave him an opportunity to move. Manning Owens is a men's shop that was on the other side of Lawrence Street from Belk's. And he went to work for Manning Owens, but he was loyal and a very true friend to Manning up until Manning's last days. Lionel is a person that has character, integrity, and what you see in Lionel is what you get. When you meet Lionel, he is a person that is the same no matter where he is, if it is at church, in the store, on the street, or out just on a one-on-one basis. He's the same person. He's a gentleman and a friend, and I feel very privileged to be able to call him a friend.
Smitty has always been a mentor for me, because what I aspired to was to emulate the character that he portrayed to the public of Aiken, appreciate the way he treats people. He treats them the same today, tomorrow, next week. He is a person that if he ever met you and knew your name, he never forgot it. And he still does that today. Smitty always had the aspiration of owning his own men's store. And through that, I think it takes determination, competitiveness to attain all of those things which he did and has continued to do throughout his lifetime. And through the years, I think I have tried to do that. He still today is my mentor.
The word that I would choose for Lionel, my dad, is wisdom. So growing up, he showed me the way when working in the store, I would help him out in the store and you know, do little things. I'd do work in alterations, I'd be out front, and he taught me how to tie a bow tie, a real bow tie. He taught me to do that. He taught me a really good work ethic. He would do anything in the store that needed to be done, from cleaning the toilets to doing the displays, of course, waiting on the customers. He is my financial planner, though I have a real financial planner. He is my go-to person for things that are wrong with the house, things that are, you know, just life things. So it's just nice to have somebody to go to have all of his life experiences. And maybe I didn't totally agree with him all the time. Most of the time I did. But when I didn't, he accepted that because he believed in me as a person as well. And also, in wisdom with the store, that he had the foresight of what people would need in the Aiken area, in the men's clothing world. He's not only been a great father to myself and my brother Van, but also a great husband to my mom for over 50 years. I don't even know how long they've been married, but it's a long time. So thank you so much, and I love you.
Dependability is the character word that I would use for you, Dad. You've always been there for everybody. You put them first, you put us first. You have the ability to make everybody feel special, and you do a lot of things for everybody. Several things I've learned from you is you put God first, second is family and friends, and you were always third. I really respect that because you put everybody into a position that is better than you, which is very professional and also is very family oriented. You're an amazing man, you're an amazing person, and an amazing father. Thank you for all you've done for us as a family and as a family at the store and as a store. And I'm real proud that you've gotten this award.
Smitty, I know our 55 years is continuing today, and what I hope that we'll have another 55 years of friendship.
Daddy, I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done for me, the guidance that you've given me in life, in work, in everything that I've done. Even when I don't agree with you sometimes, you still accept it and you accept me. And I really appreciate that. So thank you and I love you.
Lionel, you're very deserving of this award. We're very proud of you. I know you represent the city of Aiken very well and have brought a lot of business into the city of Aiken. We're very pleased for you, and you're a very great friend, and thanks for everything that you do for the city.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Lionel Smith Smitty to the stage. And by the way, he taught me to tie a bow tie also. A smart man would probably say thank you and good night right now, wouldn't he? But my fellow Aikenites, I'm pleased to see you all tonight and to share with you just a few of the exciting accomplishments we've made together over the last year, along with some big goals for the years to come. First, I'm so proud that you once again had confidence to elect me as your mayor. Your support last November is appreciated. I'm here tonight to say thank you. I'll work each and every day to live up to your expectations and to serve you to the best of my ability. Thankfully, I won't have to be alone in facing the challenges ahead. While I have the honor of being up here and to deliver these remarks, I do this each year on behalf of your entire city council. The men and women who I serve with are all exceptional public servants, and I'm proud to have them here with us tonight, and I'd like to recognize them at this time. So I'm going to start with Mr. Ed Gerardo. Councilman, if you would stand up and remain standing. Councilwoman Kay Broll. Councilwoman Andrea Gregory. Councilwoman Gail Diggs. And your Mayor Pro Tem, Councilwoman Leslie Price. Councilman Waltz is not able to be with us, but he's here in spirit. I want to let you know these are some of the hardest working individuals I've ever had the opportunity to be with, and I thank you so much. This is a pleasure to serve because of your dedication, and thank you so much for your support that you give for our city and for me personally. Just as I could not do anything without these amazing partners, our council depends on the hard work and dedication of our city staff, from the public safety officers who keep us safe to the public service folk who work so hard to keep our neighborhoods clean and beautiful, to the crews who keep our water and sewer system up and running as they should. We owe a debt of gratitude to the whole team that keeps the city the wonderful place it is. And that team, more than 400 strong, is led by City Manager Stuart Biedenbaugh. If you are a member of the city team, please stand for a moment and let us show you our appreciation. Thank you for all that you do. Sadly, this past year, we lost some members of our City of Aiken team. Chief Charlie Cupp died in April of 2019 at the age of 88. Chief Cupp joined the Aiken Fire Department as an auxiliary fireman in 1954, in what led to a 38-year career with the City of Aiken. He was Assistant Fire Chief from 1965 to 1977, when the Aiken Fire and Police Departments were combined as the Aiken Department of Public Safety. He remained as a major in the fire division until his retirement in 1992. James Lightning Collier died January 10th, 2020, at the age of 59. He was a 38-year utilities employee who taught many of our current staffers all the tricks of the trade. Lightning was one of the many people that makes our community so special. They will both be sorely missed. Let's have a moment of silence in their honor and for the loved ones we've lost over the last year. Thank you. While we're talking about our team, our City of Aiken family, I'd like to review some of the milestones that staff has guided us through over the last year and is hard at work on even now. One of the projects City Council is most proud of is the one that goes to the heart of our highest priority as elected officials, protecting the lives and property of the people in Aiken. This past year, we moved into the new on Beaufort Street, a 46,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility. This facility was a creative and cost-effective combination of repurposing and renovating of an old Food Lion grocery store, along with several new building additions, and it turned out wonderfully. Also this year, we were excited to add a crime analyst to public safety staff. This analyst will be able to predict and evaluate crime trends. The analyst will assist in efficient allocation of patrol and investigative resources to address current and future crime trends and to help us to begin fighting crime before it happens, the best time to do it. To further enhance our security as a city, bids have been received and a contract has been awarded for the construction of a downtown camera system. This security network will help deter crime and assist with the investigation of any crimes that do occur in our downtown area. Public safety will have the ability to access live and recorded footage from any of these camera locations, and public safety will be partnering with our downtown businesses to implement this project. This project is expected to be completed by the end of summer 2020. Speaking of our downtown, our planning department did an excellent job this year on the expansion of the downtown business or DB zoning district. This change protects more than 150 parcels on the eastern side of Aiken's Central Business District that had for years been general business. The long and the short of it is that the changes protect this largely residential area by allowing property owners there to use their property for both business and existing residential uses. It also allows for less restrictive on-site parking requirements. It really was a win for both business people who want to open and create jobs, and it's also for the homeowners who want to continue to live in an urban mixed-use community. The planning department also led the charge on the implementation of our Parkways Task Force plan. If you haven't seen the results of this first phase of the Parkway, you need to go walk between Park Avenue between Lawrence and Union Street. The bioswales have been reduced in size and improved greatly, and you can now walk along an amazing network of paved paths under the canopy of our trees. Work to complete lighting on the paths for evening use should be complete in the next several weeks. It's just a great addition to our downtown, and it's just the first leg of a parkway trail around our city that we'll be working on for years to come. The trees are really the stars of our parkways and our city in general. We continue our work graciously funded by now, more than $1 million from the Aiken Land Conservancy to protect our treasured urban forests with a management plan and a pledge to plant 3 trees for each tree we lose to age, disease, or disaster. Work to place utility lines underground along the picture of our postcard South Boundary Oaks is nearing completion and will soon reduce the need for trimming. That comes thanks in part to matching funds from my partners at Dominion Energy. Once those lines are undergrounded and the trees are free to grow as naturally possible, there are plans to start a tree nourishment program designed to keep public trees around the city as happy and healthy as we all want them to be. Our Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Department has certainly been hard at work. This past spring, they held a ribbon cutting for what is already proving to be a very versatile and popular facility, the Leslie B. Price Aiken Senior and Youth Center. I'm telling you, this has been an incredible addition to the Eustis Park community and to the city as a whole. In concert with that project, PRT also upgraded the surrounding park, and in turn, it turned out so well that they actually won a state award for it. Each year, the South Carolina Recreation and Parks Association recognizes agencies across the state with awards during their annual conference. For 2019, the City of Aiken PRT won for the Park Excellent Award for their work at Eustis and the revitalization work there. By the end of the next year, I expect them to bring home another one of those prestigious honors for the work that they're doing right now to replace the Smith Hazel Recreation Center swimming pool and to add restroom and dressing facilities there. This is a key facility, not just for fun in the sun, but for teaching young people in Aiken water safety. With the expansion, I expect this will be a real attraction for the Smith Hazel pool and truly become a destination for residents all over our city. We expect this project to be completed this summer. Not every department gets to do the things as flashy as build a new swimming pool, but their work is just as important, if not more so in some cases. Our information technology department, with these new facilities that I've been bragging about, has worked tirelessly behind scenes, in the walls, in the ceilings, under the floors, and a lot of other unglamorous places. They've worked to tie all of our existing buildings and all of our computers, telephones, security, and other key systems into a redundant, always-on network protected from constant cyber attacks like the ransomware events that have crippled cities large and small around our country. There's no small feat, especially when they have to stop and take calls from a mayor about how to use his iPad. I apologize about that, guys. We can't forget our public services department, which will soon successfully have completed the transition from antiquated rear-loading trash trucks to side-loading automated trucks. That change alone has increased the efficiency and speed of trash collection while eliminating the dangerous need for staff to ride on the back of the trucks and roll up the carts. Our engineering and utilities department is doing a wonderful job working to repair and rehabilitate water, sewer, and stormwater infrastructure throughout our city, while still working on plans and projects that expand our system and allow for future growth. Right now, they are set to begin a project that will extend our water and sewer services beyond Interstate 20 along US 1 corridor. That is very exciting. All of city staff and your city council will work on another very important project that will get underway very soon. As you know, we plan to take over the historic Henderson Hotel, which was most recently the downtown branch of Regions Bank, and build a modern and, most importantly, consolidated city hall that will serve this community for decades to come. We've already made progress with the goals of returning our surplus real estate to private hands and back on the tax rolls through the agreement approved last month to sell the current finance and administrative building at 135 Lawrence Street. In fact, the $1.3 million in proceeds from the sale will be used to help pay for the upgrade at the Regions building, which will include new council chambers and be the future home for all of our public meetings. The blueprints are in the works and nearing completion now. We'll make sure to share those plans and construction schedules as soon as they're firmed up. And that's not all we'll be building. We're going to be designing and building roads. Over the next year, I will get started with our new Owens extension between Whiskey and Nilson Street that will allow traffic to flow all the way to Pine Log and Silver Bluff roads. Right-of-way acquisition is well underway, and final engineering is the work for a connector that will tie Centennial Parkway to Eastgate Drive. These will be the first concrete steps to build the initial phase of the Powder House and Pawnee Nelson connectors. These roads will provide parallel connections to Whiskey Road and reduce congestion there as they're completed. We have applied for state and federal funding to help get this all done, but we can no longer wait to get it started. We hope that the state of South Carolina and the federal government help us out, but as a city, we can't wait to start addressing these needs. We will use the funds we have in hand now to get started with these important projects. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our city, and this truly is our time. As we embark on a new decade this year, I believe history will show that 2020 will be the beginning of something important, some important improvements for our already blessed community. Things that will make us even stronger and more resilient, community for decades to come. I hope we'll look back at 2020 and it will be much like another watershed event that we celebrated this year with the 70th anniversary of the founding of the Savannah River Site. Clearly, that event in 1950 profoundly impacted Aiken and helped make us who we are today. As we know, the Department of Energy Savannah River Site was established in the early days of the Cold War to support the nation's nuclear defense, a mission it continues to this day. The work of SRS employees in the state of South Carolina helped America win the Cold War and maintain global nuclear deterrence, even today as the nation's facility for extracting, recycling, purifying, and reloading tritium. As much as we may wish we didn't need these weapons or these tools of war, we do. And I'm proud Aiken has played such a critical role in keeping our nation strong. The economic impact of the site has been and continues to be enormous to this city and the entire region. The SRS annual budget is approximately $2.3 billion with a B. The site employs a highly skilled workforce of more than 11,000 people in key defense, research and development, and cleanup missions. What's more, SRS has a driven track record of being one of the safest sites in the DOE complex and one of the safest major industrial sites in the world. What this enterprise has done to increase the pure brain power in this town is astonishing. The site is home to the Savannah River National Laboratory, one of only 17 national labs in the United States. And with its 1,000 scientists, engineers, and support staff, that's a lot of smart people. And about 80% of them call Aiken home. Savannah River Nuclear Solutions has created a brief video that captures the invaluable contributions of the site and reviews its storied past. At this time, let's take a look.
Since the early 1950s and the dawn of the Cold War, the Savannah River Site has served the nation. Originally known as the Savannah River Plant, the facility was constructed at a heroic pace. The goal? To develop and deploy nuclear technologies at scales never before imagined. For 7 decades, the nation has counted on SRS to be a force in science and technology. Innovative research performed by Savannah River National Laboratory scientists and engineers has led to countless patents and publications for DOE that benefit the nation's security and bring energy independence. With the end of the Cold War, the reactors were shut down and missions changed, but a steadfast tradition of safety and security remains. The goal is for every employee to arrive, work, and go home safely, and for our nation's valuable nuclear materials to be protected. From the time of the atomic age homesteaders in the 1950s until today, SRS has attracted the nation's brightest, most diverse talent. Diverse backgrounds bring diverse experiences and expectations, and the benefits from the resulting social, academic, and economic transformation to communities on both sides of the river can't be denied. For 7 decades, SRS has earned the community's support, trust, and respect with reliable stewardship of the environment and the nation's assets. Safe, effective cleanup of Cold War legacy nuclear materials continue. Breakthrough treatment technologies at the Defense Waste Processing Facility and Salt Waste Processing Facility help safely contain and dispose radioactive liquid waste. Deactivation and decommissioning of obsolete facilities also saves taxpayers' dollars. For 70 years, SRS has provided unparalleled community service and economic impact to the region through employee and corporate support of nonprofit agencies, colleges and universities, educational outreach, as well as business and economic development. The site has a $2.6 billion annual regional economic impact, with $200 million spent annually in local procurements. And over the past 10 years, SRS has donated millions to the local communities, which is matched by SRS employees through United Way and other charitable contributions. Today, site missions are diverse, but our foundational values remain. As we advance the goals of the DOE Office of Environmental Management and National Nuclear Security Administration in an ever-changing and always challenging world, SRS looks toward the future with anticipation. The NNSA announced plans to invest $3 billion at SRS over the next 5 years for both the proposed plutonium mission and upgrades to the site's tritium production facilities. Our missions may be challenging, but for SRS, there is one goal supporting all others. We make the world safer. This legacy exists because of the dedication and commitment of the workforce and community partners. Saluting SRS for 70 years of service.
We're honored tonight to have a delegation representing all of the workers now and through the last 70 years with us. While I welcome them to the stage, I'd like to ask our city council members if they would to join me at this time. And now representing Savannah Riverside, Amy Boyette, who's the Director of the Office of External Affairs for the U.S. Department of Energy Savannah River Operations Office. Edwin DeShong, Assistant Manager for Plans and Programs with the NNSA, Savannah River Field Office. Rick Sprague, Senior Vice President of Environmental Safety, Health, and Quality of Savannah River Nuclear Solutions. And Tom Foster, President and Project Manager of Savannah River Remediation. And Charlie and Liddy Hanson, who are Savannah Riverside retirees and community chairs for the SR 70th Anniversary Committee. Now, that's a lot of people on this stage. While they're making their way down, this would be a great opportunity to introduce some of our partners, because so many of the things that we do, it's not just the city, it's working with your other representatives, and we're so lucky to have a county council and a delegation and a school board that pay attention to the city, they care about us, they ask our input, and work with us whenever it comes time for many of our accomplishments or many of the goals that we have. So this time I would like to represent them or introduce them to you if I could. Vice Chairman of the County Council, Mr. Andrew Siders. Senator Nikki Setzler. Senator, appreciate you being with us. Representative Bill Taylor. Representative Bart Blackwell. And Ms. Clyburn is here, who's a former city council member. I know Mr. Clyburn called and he was going to try to make it, so we appreciate you being here, and hopefully we'll see him later too, but thank you for all you do. My good friend, the chairman of the county council, Mr. Gary Bunker. Gary, thank you. And the chairman of our delegation, Senator Tom Young. Tom. We also have, we have our newest representative just got sworn in, and I think she's already straightened them out, right, Bill? I mean, things are going right. Representative Melissa Aremus. Melissa, you honor us for being here today. Also newly elected, Mr. Cam Nussel is here. Cam, thank you for being here with us. It's great to have partners to work with who care. I think we can all agree that President Harry S. Truman's decision to create the Savannah River Site in 1950 was an auspicious one for the city. We heeded the call to devote ourselves to the defense of our nation with the newest and most critical technology of the era. As I mentioned at the outset, this is our city, and once again it is our time. Time to heed a new call, one so familiar to this area's patriots, to embrace new technology and keep world safe for the American ideals and values that we all hold so dear. While we continue to contribute on the nuclear front through SRS, the frontier at which we stand now is a digital one. The CSRA and Fort Gordon are becoming an international center for the development and practice of cybersecurity and cyber warfare that will have just as dramatic effect as the efforts of the last 70 years have had. Governor Henry McMaster's recently released his executive budget, which included $15 million for the South Carolina National Guard to begin construction for the innovative Dreamport Cybersecurity Collaborative Facility at the University of South Carolina, Aiken. The purpose of the Dreamport facility will be to increase the state's cyber response capabilities through partnerships to keep pace with the increasing cyber threats and technology initiatives, as they will do it in a new world-class facility on the campus of our own USC Aiken, my alma mater. I can't say enough about the efforts of Chancellor Sandra Jordan, who coordinated with the National Guard to bring attention to this initiative and helped foster critical partnerships which made it happen. The Aiken Standard recently named Dr. Jordan its Person of the Year with very good reason. Her role in this important project proves it. I'm going to ask Dr. Jordan if she would to stand and so we could recognize her. Thank you, Sandra. As she described it to me, the Dreamport facility will really provide classified and unclassified environments where experts can solve some of the most pressing challenges in the cyber realm and utilize the National Guard's cybersecurity expertise to the benefit of our state. It will bring cyber expertise to the campus and provide the cybersecurity faculty and students there access to some of the best trained cyber experts in America. That access will give us opportunities to work alongside and learn from leaders in the field as Aiken takes up the important work of training the next generation of cyber warriors. The new facility to be located in close proximity to the Savannah River National Laboratory's Advanced Manufacturing Collaborative on the USC Aiken campus will create a space for cyber experts in the private, government, and academic sectors to work closely with Fort Gordon cyber operations and the Savannah River National Laboratory cyber researchers. This work will be important from the battlefield to the boardroom, and each one of us, as we must conduct our connected lives each day. That's because cyber crimes not only impact governments and the military, they impact businesses and they impact individuals. Beyond those benefits to the nation, clearly this project will pay dividends economically for the region by creating an environment for entrepreneurs, non-traditional companies, small businesses, industry, and academics to develop new technologies and new well-paying jobs for our area. The Dreamport, along with Advanced Manufacturing Collaborative, soon to be constructed on the campus as well, will be true game changers for our area. Dr. Jordan and the University have aligned USC Aiken's curriculum and programs to capitalize on the state-of-the-art research that will bring the important work of the Savannah River National Laboratory outside the gates of SRS into the heart of Aiken. This too will serve to develop innovative new work product while preparing the area's workforce in very high demanding fields. It really is our time, isn't it? Speaking of time, I'm not going to talk about my speech right now. Come on, guys. Lots of things, important things, take far more time than any of us would prefer. One economic development project that fits into that category for all of us over the last several years has been the redevelopment of the Aiken Mall. During a time of historic challenges for brick and mortar retail in general and malls in particular. But ladies and gentlemen, in a further sign that this truly is our time, I'd like to ask Vic Mills of Southeastern Development, owners of the mall, to join me now. He has some exciting news, and he's worked so hard along the way to get to this point that's only fair that I allow him to share it with you tonight. Vic, good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's exciting to be here. I would have asked one favor. Smitty, can you teach me how to tie a bow tie? No, it's the timing is really superb. The mayor was kind enough to invite me to formally announce our first major commitment at the mall, and was kind enough to include us in the program, so I won't delay that. But what's interesting is early on when we bought the mall and met with so many people, we invited the mayor, said we'd love to have some people come down and visit our Shelter Cove Mall at Hilton Head, which we are very proud of. And they said, we'd love to have whomever come. What I didn't anticipate is we had a Trailways bus with 50 people show up, which was wonderful. So I hope some of you, and I know many of you were there. But we've had the pleasure of working in Aiken for almost 40 years. The announcement we're making tonight, really during the process of doing market research and what have you, we found that the #1 multifamily community, according to the research people we had, is a development along Whiskey Road called the Colony at South Park. I'm pleased to say, I look back, we developed that project over 30 years ago. So if it worked once, it'll work again. Leslie was only 12 years old, but she was only with Mayor Weeks and Roland Wyndham, and what a wonderful group to work with. So I want to say we have the pleasure of working in 12 states with a lot of different political communities. There's not a better one who's so progressive and so willing to work and push and see their community grow than Aiken, the city of Aiken, and Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Chairman, the county of Aiken. We've all worked together to put in place to turn around the mall, and I could not be more pleased or honored to be able tonight to announce the first major commitment, and we'll talk about that. So did you arrange? Here we go. Okay. This is as of at least a few weeks ago, this is our current development plan for the mall. And if you'll notice, the areas, there are 8 buildings that are Class A multifamily or apartments. They are A+ apartments. As a matter of fact, the same architect who we're working with and have employed on this development are the same architects who did our Water Walk development at Hilton Head. So we've gone to the top, And we could not be more excited. It took a lot of research and a lot of support from a lot of people to be able to announce this. If you notice, the apartments and then the remaining pink buildings, remain retail, restaurants, etc., are around a 6-acre, 7-acre park. That area currently is all the shops that are within the mall that will be demolished. So Belk's will remain. We have a couple of other tenants who want to remain, Books A Million in particular. But the parkway, the park, is going to be surrounded by both residential and retail. The fundamentals which we shared early on for a redevelopment of a mall such as Hilton Head, to be successful, there are about 4 ingredients. 1, you need to have entertainment. Number 2, you need to have shopping. We need to have fitness, and we need to have livability. The apartment community, as planned, will offer 256 luxury apartments. They will be 3-story in design, and there will be a combination of 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and probably some 3 bedrooms, but most will be 1 and 2 bedrooms. This will be the largest financial investment that we will probably make in this entire development. Current budgets exceed $30 million. So we are making another commitment to the town of Aiken, the city of Aiken, and to Aiken County, Chairman Bunker. And we're just very confident that there is a strong need for high-quality multifamily in the Aiken market. We, the mayor and Andrea and a few of the commissioners have talked about Aiken. We lose a lot of people to North Augusta and what have you. So we're working with the council about an advertising and marketing campaign that if you're going to work at SRS or somewhere in this area, there's not a better place, I guess for me to shut up maybe. There's not a better place to live than in Aiken, so we're going to ask your help in trying to continue to promote that. Let me talk a little bit about the retail. Belk's, like I said, stays. Our plans currently are to have an upscale hotel facility on the site, retail, fitness, restaurants, and the apartments. So as a mixed-use development in its truest sense. Timing-wise, and that's always a question. When we first announced the project, we told you it takes a lot longer than any of us, particularly us, to pull this off. We looked last year, at the end of the year, we leased our last space at Hilton Head. I looked back before tonight, we have owned it for 7 years. So hopefully, this is not going to take as long. But it just takes a long time, a lot of capital, a lot of hard work. I would also like to recognize Jason Long. Jason led the development of the public safety building. He and his team will be developing this the multifamily community as well. He will be here after the meeting to respond to questions as well. If we go to the next slide, please. Oh, you don't have that one? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, the newspaper will have it in the morning, so or they'll actually have it tonight. But the elevations, what we've done, and we actually brought the architectural team some time ago to Aiken, and we spent a day and longer to actually work on the design so that we can incorporate the fabric of Aiken, much as we were able to do 30 years ago in the Colony Apartments. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you for letting us take a part of your time, and we could not be more excited, and I'd like to thank the council, the commissioners, the staff, Stuart, everyone working with us to help us continue to move forward on what is truly an exciting project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, Vic and Jason and your team. They've been terrific partners for us, and I have to say good luck with this very exciting project that none of us can wait to see completed. What time is it, folks? Say it with me. It's our time. That's right. Even as we look to a bright future, we have to look at one of the foundations of Aiken's storied equine past. With the exception of a major event in Augusta every April, the spring steeplechase has long been among the largest single-day spectator sporting events anywhere in the CSRA. The spring event here opens the steeplechase season, and the fall race closes it out. Each event draws thousands to our community to enjoy the races and the day of tailgating that is legendary, not just in Aiken, but all around the South. The event has gotten so large, in fact, that it has outgrown the longtime home, Bruce's Field at the Aiken Horse Park. At the same time, the horse park has embraced the growing eventing disciplines that it hosts each year round now. And they bring world-class athletes to our community, not just human, but horse, for our equestrian community. The events there have grown to such a degree, and there are so many wonderful plans to expand them in the future, that the Steeplechase Association began looking for a new home several years ago. They looked at a lot of sites, and some of them were quite a distance from the namesake city that has hosted this event since 1930. As was announced last month, the Steeplechase Association, in the end, decided that continuing to call Aiken home was important for their event and important for our city itself. This association selected a site on the eastern edge of the city limits at the corner of Richland Avenue and Rudy Mason Parkway. This 144-acre site will soon be home to a new track and, over time, permanent facilities like barns, a grandstand, and others needed to support races that will be bigger and better than ever before. They asked the Aiken City Council to help, and we were pleased to work with them and provide a grant for $1 million in funds that must be spent by law on supporting and encouraging tourism in our area. What a win for our city, the steeplechase, and the horse park. I'm so thrilled that the races will remain in Aiken for me, my children, and their children to enjoy, now that they have found the perfect new home. I'm also gratified that the association turned to the city council and we were able to work in partnership to get this major feat accomplished. Another major announcement I have for you this evening is that the time for Aiken's wonderful Northside Park, Generation Park, to come into the city limits is here. Soon the city will close an innovative land deal with W.R. Grace & Company that will make the long past due annexation a reality. Grace is a large landowner between the current city limits and the park property. They are in the kaolin mining business and operate a packaging facility just north of the city limits and just south of Generations Park. We needed to annex that park, and Grace needed something from us. They needed to tap into our water services and improve the fire protection for their kaolin road facilities. Bill Blackmore, the general manager of Grace's Aiken facility, is here with us tonight, and I'd like to recognize him for his efforts on the city's behalf to get this done. Bill, please stand up and take a bow, sir. With Bill's help, we will soon get the park contiguous to our city limits, and then we will at long last have the park within our city. And that's just a first step. A first step in plans to begin the expansion of our city to include our industrial parks, our airport, and the land primed for development along I-20. It's our time. Time to do the things that make sense and that grow our city and our tax base in smart and efficient ways that will benefit us all, not just for Generations Park, but for literal generations of Aikenites to come. God bless each of you, and God bless Aiken, South Carolina. And don't forget, as we move through 2020, we can all let everyone we meet know what time it is. It's our time. Thank you and good night. God bless you.